So guys, what's going on? I hope you guys are well. I hope you guys are staying safe. I hope everything's good wherever you are. So guys, we've just had the Ugas and Manny Pacquiao weigh-in. Ugas weighs in, I believe, at 147 and Manny Pacquiao weighs in at 146. We all know that Manny makes the weight easy. We all know that Manny is very comfortable at welterweight, and you know, he has so many X amount of meals to, you know, make the weight. The guy makes it easy, and we've now got a fight for the WBA World Welterweight Championship of the World tomorrow. It's not the fight that was supposed to be. Unfortunately, the fight that was supposed to be didn't happen. And Ugas has stepped in. And this is by no means a gimme for Manny. This is a tough fight without question. Manny's going to bring it. Manny's going to, you know, he's going to bring the heat. And so is Ugas. Ugas is going to bring the heat. You guys obviously would want my prediction. Firstly, I want to talk about both guys look great in the weigh-in. Both guys look ripped, in good shape. Ugas looking fantastic, you know, and it's always good to see a fighter in shape, you know, on weight, because it shows that they've put in the preparation. And Ugas, obviously, I know people are saying he's a replacement, but Ugas was supposed to fight. He was supposed to fight Fabian Maidana on the undercard, so it's not like he wasn't supposed to fight. You know, he was on the undercard, so it's a great fight, people. It's a great fight. I'm looking forward to it. I'm definitely looking forward to this fight. I'm very, very intrigued to see how Manny Pacquiao looks tomorrow. You know, people are saying that, you know, they're worried. Is age gonna catch up? Is he the same guy? Is he the same fighter he was, you know, 10 years ago? Of course he's not. Of course he's not. He's not going to be, you know, we all age. Nobody's going to be the same fighter that they were when they were 31 or 32. It's just not humanly possible. But what you're going to get from Manny Pacquiao is you're going to get a guy that's going to give his best, like he always does inside a boxing ring. Manny Pacquiao always brings it. And tomorrow you're going to see another great performance by Ugas. I think Ugas is going to bring it as well. I think Ugas isn't going to be easy. I'm hoping for a great fight. It's live on Sky Sports here in the UK. I'm pretty sure it's on Showtime pay-per-view or Fox pay-per-view, I think, over there in America. So yeah, I'm looking forward to it, man. I'm looking forward to it. Pacquiao fights are always, you know, great. As you know, he's a legend and he may retire. He may not fight again. What he's done in the sport of boxing, man, you know, you got to take your hat off to him. You got to take your hat onto him and respect the legend, because what he's done in the sport of boxing is second to none. You can't respect him enough. You can't respect him enough for what he's done in the sport of boxing. And when he's gone, I'm going to be sad, just like a lot of you are, because I'm going to miss Manny Pacquiao, you know, fight nights, you know, and we haven't got a lot left of Manny, especially if he loses tomorrow. I believe that's it. I don't believe he's going to fight on. If he loses tomorrow, that's it. You know, why is he going to fight on if he loses to Ugas tomorrow? That's him done. And that'll be a damn shame, because let's be honest, Manny Pacquiao, without question, is, I don't care what people's opinions are, whether they think he's one of the best fighters ever. He's one of the best fighters ever, and it's been a privilege. You know, there's certain people, you know, that it's a privilege to watch, you know, and it's great to say that I was in the same era. I got to see Manny Pacquiao. You know, it's like some people say about Diego Maradona, football, that they say it was a pleasure to watch Diego Maradona, like my dad. You know, some people in basketball talk about Michael Jordan, how they were around when Michael Jordan was playing. You know, some people say, you know, Muhammad Ali. Imagine what it would have been like being around when Muhammad Ali was around. You know, being around, like I wasn't even alive, you know, then I was born in 1992. So you can imagine, like, for me, Pacquiao, Mayweather, these are the star guys. Once I got into boxing, these were the big names. Like Mike Tyson, I caught the end of Tyson, but I wasn't really into boxing at that point. I watched Lennox Lewis v Mike Tyson, but I didn't really see, obviously, even Mike Tyson in his heyday, that would have been well before my time. So really, Pacquiao and Mayweather have been the two standouts. Since I got into boxing, have been the two standout guys. And Manny Pacquiao has been a guy that I've enjoyed the most. And he's probably been the most sensational fighter in my era. And Canelo's coming close now, but even Canelo doesn't compare to what Manny Pacquiao did in his prime. I've got so much respect for Pacquiao. Pacquiao is literally a living legend. You know, I don't think we can praise him enough. And it's coming to the stage of his career where you know, it's not far from the end. And it's going to be sad when he's gone. It's going to definitely be sad because I'm going to miss his fights. I'm going to miss those nights. You know, it's gonna be difficult when Pacquiao goes because, like I said, we've lost Mayweather. Mayweather doesn't fight. I know some people don't necessarily like Mayweather, but Mayweather was a great fighter and his fight nights were unparalleled. Manny Pacquiao was in the same kind of boat, but his fight nights are unparalleled. You know, what a fighter, man. What a fighter. What a fighter. You know, you can't praise Manny Pacquiao enough. And I know I've done it so many times over the years, but what a fighter. What a legend. You know, what he's done in the sport of boxing, how he's changed. You know, this is a guy that, like I said, I tell the story many times. You know, he came in as a replacement against Ledwaba. Wasn't expected to win that fight. Changed his stars that night. And after that, he never looked back. Look at the legend he went on to become. What a fighter, man. What a fighter. And in terms of tomorrow, my prediction is I think he'll stop him late. I favour Manny Pacquiao late on in the fight just because I think Ugas is defensively not sound. And I think Ugas he's bang up for it. He's gonna bring a tough fight, but I just don't think he's defensively sound enough, and I'm going for a Pacquiao late stoppage. I think Ugas is gonna walk onto something. Some people think it's gonna be Pacquiao points. I do see Pacquiao winning the fight. I think the only way Pacquiao loses if Pacquiao's not the same fighter or anywhere close to being the same fighter, which is a possibility. Everyone's mentioned it. He's 42 years of age, but I favour Pacquiao in this fight. I think stylistically, I think Ugas is very open, and I think Manny Pacquiao might enjoy fighting Ugas. There's a lot of openings there for him, and I think he's gonna stop him. But only time will tell. Only time will tell if he does stop him, or maybe Ugas can put in the performance of his life. I think Ugas is a little underrated because of the fact that he's got 4 losses. You know, when you've got 4 losses and I think he's got like 22, 26 wins, something like that. His record doesn't look fantastic because when you have 4 losses and some of those guys that he lost to aren't exactly big names, but they were close fights. So he's a bit underrated. Ugas. He's definitely a better fighter than his record might suggest. But I can't see him beating Manny Pacquiao. Like, the only way he beats him, in my opinion, if Manny Pacquiao is completely past his best. Because Ugas, like I said, I've watched some of his fights defensively. I do worry for him. You know, and a lot of people say, well, Pacquiao's not had a stoppage. It doesn't matter. If stylistically you come up against somebody that suits your style, there's a very good... And even though Ugas is a big welterweight, that doesn't mean anything. You know, Pacquiao can hurt welterweights. You know, he can hurt welterweights. If you're defensively not sound... I know Ricky Hatton wasn't a welterweight, but Ricky Hatton wasn't defensively sound. And look what he did to him. I know that was a much younger Pacquiao. But if you look at the other guys like Miguel Cotto, although he dismantled Miguel Cotto, the fight wasn't as... He didn't destroy him like he did to Hatton because Hatton was defensively not sound. Ugas is defensively not sound. Keith Thurman is a lot more defensively sound than Ugas. He's a better boxer. Keith Thurman's just vulnerable, more vulnerable. But Ugas is a lot more open. Do you see what I mean? When he's letting his shot, he's just a lot more open. And I feel like Pacquiao could definitely walk him onto something. You know, Pacquiao's speed is still frightening. He's still got crazy hand speed and crazy movement. And he, like I said, Manny Pacquiao's, you know, still unbelievable at the age of 42. We're talking about him like, as a top welterweight. You know, when you've got guys that are 33, 34 that already passed their best, and like, look at guys like Victor Ortiz, Robert Guerrero, Kell Brook, Amir Khan, guys like that are not that old, to be honest with you. Guerrero must be old. Guerrero must be in his late 30s probably. I don't know exactly how old Guerrero is, but still, you know, Amir Khan 34, Brook 35, Victor Ortiz must be around the same. Guys are, you know, they still should be relevant at world level. But unfortunately, this is what I mean. The sport of boxing is very tough. Very few people are able to stay dedicated and stay, you know, on task like Manny Pacquiao has been for so many years. And this is why you've got to admire and salute his dedication to the sport of boxing, because he's been in the sport of boxing for 4 decades. 4 decades. And still he's fighting at top level, championship level. It's unbelievable. When you think about it like that, 4 decades, championship level. You know, like, come on, man. That is so difficult to do. So difficult to do, man. You know, you can't praise Pacquiao enough. You can't praise Pacquiao enough for what he's done in the sport of boxing. And what he's doing. The fact that we've got him as a favorite against Ugas, and we expect him to do the job at the age of 42. Just, again, to me, that's crazy. But that's just Manny Pacquiao. He's one of the best ever. He is one of the best ever, without question. You know, he will go down as one of the greatest fighters ever. You know, and I'm upset that he didn't get an opportunity to fight Spence, because this may have been, that might have been his last fight if Spence was to beat him. I know a lot of people thought Spence would beat him. But I do think that Spence fight now would be a lot more interesting, especially with Spence suffering that eye injury. I do think that could potentially be a much closer fight, and a lot of people would be intrigued. And I think there'd be a lot more hype around it, because of the fact that people may think that Errol Spence may be past his best. So I personally think that fight, I think, should happen. I think Terence Crawford, I wouldn't like him to fight Terence Crawford. Even though, as much as I would love to see Terence Crawford get the fight, I think Terence Crawford might be too athletically gifted at this point for Manny Pacquiao. In his prime, of course, Pacquiao could have dealt with anyone. But right now, I don't like that fight for Manny Pacquiao. You know, I think Terence Crawford's very good with his feet. He's very fast with his hands also. He's very sharp. I think that would be stylistically not the best fight for Pacquiao. I think Spence, he's a lot flat-footed. He's a lot slower with his movement. And then obviously now with his vulnerability as well, you know, with his injuries, you don't know what Spence is there. So I definitely think if Pacquiao wants to fight a fighter out of the two, it's definitely got to be Spence. I think that's a more realistic fight for him at this stage. That's just my opinion, guys. Leave your thoughts. But I am going for a Pacquiao, say, 10th round stoppage. But leave your thoughts, guys. Let me know what you think. And guys, remember to please like, share, and subscribe to my channel. I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace.